Beginning, smart. Everyone, we said it last year. Tell us who's there. What are they wearing? Who are they with? Get a sample of that from the best talk show queen in the world.
But why would they open with the award for best costumes when they usually open with the award for best supporting actress, which people are used to having one of the top four?
Because they had those supermodels.
They had all those models.
That wasn't so bad.
No, you know, you want to see the outfits, and these people work so hard designing these things,
Right.
and then they come out and you see a supermodel's face. You know, they're all, of course, starving.
The
guys were just not totally evolved. Just
I know.
on their way. And
why do we think, this is interesting, here's our first subject for discussion.
Okay.
Why do we react
yes,
one way
TV
to women models, and we're interested in them and they're celebrities,
right.
And then you hear the guy models, and they have the one name, and we kind of...
You know why?
Why?
Because. That's just the way it is.
Because guys should be playing baseball, not posing for pictures. I think we all know that.
Thank you.
Right.
Just kidding. No, there's nothing wrong with the guy models.
Did
Most of them are prettier than me.
Did they? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're right. Acting is feminine, male and female.
But there
Because
isn't...
actors have to put on makeup, and they have to be very vain, right? So acting is...
And they have to gesture.
And they have to do things. Acting is very feminine.
Well, wait a second. Look at who was honored
He's
tonight.
right about the models,
Douglas.
though.
The models are different. Kirk Douglas, Macho Man.
Macho Man.
Chris Reeve looked spectacular and strong.
Absolutely, he did.
God
Yeah,
bless
right.
him.
But it's still, to me, it's still there's a.
Nicolas Cage is any? No, not
I'm not saying that that actors are effeminate. I'm just saying that acting as a craft
Candy,
is on the feminine side. What?
Effeminate.
I always feel like I'm at home with my brothers.
See, I read. Okay.
What about, does the Academy wait too long to honor the giants of the past who are approaching old age? In case in point tonight, Kirk Douglas. Couldn't he have received this 5 years ago?
Well, but then you'd have to go back to who they gave it to 5 years ago, and you'd be asking that. So, I mean...
But as I pointed out, remember Mary Pickford? She was in the Iron Lung, for heaven's sake.
Right.
They dragged Charlie Chaplin over from London.
Right.
Why are you smiling, Steinberg?
Well, I know Iron Lung just makes me smile. I don't know why. It just does. Iron Lung is isn't Iron Lung
Well,
funny?
the way you say iron.
Iron, one of the Canadians.
I know.
I know. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, Mary Pickford, she's not still in the Iron Lung, is she?
No, she's not.
Okay, so I can say whatever I want about
Of course not. She
All right.
left.
A
But
person in
to
an
a far
Iron Lung-
worse place, I might add.
Person in an Iron Lung is funny. I'm just telling you, it's funny. Because when you're
Right.
talking to a person
Especially
in
if you're
an
the
Iron Lung,
national poster boy for Easter seals, it's a barrel full of laughs, yeah.
just did. But anyway, so you think that we should have wheeled her out on the Iron Lung? And
No, I think we should have honored Mary Pickford before she got that old. And the same with John Wayne. I mean, they waited till after.
I love tributes in the middle of someone's career that stimulate them and almost embarrass
Thank
them,
you.
like Spielberg, for example,
Okay,
getting the
okay.
Thalberg Award. Now, you know, he's sort of humbled by it and says, all right, now what's my second act going to be? So your point is well taken.
Yes, it makes
Thank
it
you,
probably
Eugene.
more
You're
thought.
welcome, Thomas.
Really By the way, have any of you ever hosted, did you ever host an award show, David?
I think I did, yeah. I think no, I don't. Yes, I did. I hosted.
Now make up your mind.
No, I did.
Tom, you're being very generous.
Babeheart. That's the sequel to Showgirls.
That's with Claudia Schiffer. Haven't you seen, you didn't see that? Babeheart.
Babeheart, the Scottish pig with the little kilt on.
Yeah. And just as long as there aren't any male pigs with kilts on, because they look
Oh, there's
effeminate.
plenty of
No,
them.
I love Babeheart. Really, it's
Yeah,
one of my
okay.
favorites, really. I love Babeheart is a great name for it.
It is a picture.
I loved Babe.
That's
So
the one I
did
would have
I.
voted for.
I really loved that movie.
That's the one for the ages. That could be a Wizard of Oz. That could last for many, many generations.
Do you know, my niece is only 4 years old, and I was on the phone with her today, and she said, "Isn't it going in Anatomy Awards?" You know, Anatomy Awards, of course, which they are sometimes. And I said, yes, you know, we're going to be doing a thing on TV, and you can see it tonight if Mom lets you stay up really late, because they'll let her take a nap and get up to see Aunt Bonnie. And she said, oh, I hope Babe wins. And I thought, that's so cute. Here's a 4-year-old.
Sure.
Hoping her little buddy Babe wins.
But it's funny, backstage here, all the support people and makeup and the crew, everybody was cheering for Babe on this set tonight. I think what you said applies. This may well last a long, long, long time, and it's such a total departure. I mean, if somebody had come to you and said, we're going to make a picture about a pig that rounds up sheep,
You say Saturday morning television. Do it animated. That's what you say with
Right,
a
but
project
look at
like
the
that. And they
screenplay,
came
so-
up, the boldness of this. They were in development on technical work in 1991. 5 years ago, they were working on getting the techniques right. And when they got them right, then they could make the picture. This is a 7-year project. George Miller, who made the Road Warrior pictures, produced this fantastic job. Fantastic. I wish it had won.
Well, in the hearts of many people, it did. Anyway, we are with Gene Siskel tonight and Bonnie Hunt and David Steinberg, and soon to be joined by Mark McEwen of CBS News, live at the actual big-time party downtown where all the stars are just lined up to come on this show. We will continue with all of you on the toll-free highway after these messages, so hurry back. Thanks, folks.
All of my friends who, you know who you are, and
Bonnie Hunt said, you know, about the first time you ever see your father cry, and Eugene said,
Yeah, especially if he's drunk. Now, she was talking about Paul
I was talking
Sorvino.
about, yes.
She was talking in a very
Sorvino's
emotional line.
father, and I was very moved by that until one of you guys said he cries all the time.
That's what Mira
I don't
Sorvino
know.
told me after she got her award. She says, it didn't surprise me. She says, my whole family cries all the time.
Well, then it's not as moving.
what was it like backstage there tonight?
It was a very nice, in control, relaxed evening.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's, I think, the tone of the whole night. It was very calm, and I thought it was we had a lot of profiles in courage, if I can put a headline on the show. Courage of Kirk Douglas,
Right.
courage of Christopher Reeve, courage of Miep Guess, who saved the diary of Anne Frank, and
Wow.
helped shelter the Frank family and went to the Gestapo to try and free them. So if you really are looking for a theme,
But
bravery.
How about when the guy leaned over to the woman who found and saved the diary of Anne Frank and said, "You don't have to speak," because before was the one that talked.
Can I tell you why, Tom? She doesn't speak English very well. She came
I understand.
backstage. She doesn't. She wanted work through a Dutch translator for us in the press
Okay.
afterwards. So he was actually doing her a favor.
Oh, I saw that guy.
But to the
wooden
country,
shoes
it appeared as
That's
if
John Blair,
in the wake of
director.
the woman who went on and on and on.
Oh, cut him
she
some
was-
slack. Cut him
No.
some slack, Tom. Because you know what?
I'm cutting him slack because
No,
you're
what
telling me the
Tom's-
story,
no,
but I'm
what
saying
Tom's saying is, in watching it, you
Yeah.
did want to hear from her. I felt the
course.
same way.
exactly, and I'm glad you told this story because it may make people who watch this
Good.
realize that this guy wasn't being abrupt at all.
But I heard
Exactly.
she doesn't talk all the time. She's like Sorvino's dad.
You're a sick one. Yeah, there's certain subjects, Bonnie, you don't tread.
No, that's not.
I'm just
what-
kidding.
oh.
Just doing that.
Tom, did you not like
Oh,
the
it
show?
was
Excuse me,
hysterical.
did you not like the show? Did you think it was a dull show?
I thought the show was too long, and I'll tell you, I was bothered by the number of production numbers. We don't go to movies that have production numbers because we don't like to watch them anymore, so why inflict them on the audience when they do the television program on Academy Awards
But
night?
there was some great. Stomp was a terrific number. I've never seen a number quite that good.
The
ever on
audience
Academy.
really
I
loved
loved
that.
it. Stomp was fabulous. I mean, this is a reversal of roles for us, isn't it?
No, not
I
at
like
all.
something.
This is where we started last year with you three, when I said I thought it was a wonderful show, and you said it was a bomb.
Exactly correct. And it was. And
No, it was. I thought last
You know,
year's
it's
show
a good
was
thing that you and I aren't with the thumbs every week, because there would never be where there would be two.
No, but there'd be mutual respect.
There's always respect
Yeah,
for
I
you,
know, I
Eugene.
know.
You understand.
I understand that. I thought really that there were lots of fine touches. And for example, when we, even on a small matter, the technical awards, the guy who invented that thing that you jump on and I don't know what it is.
Trampoline?
Where you throw a human. No.
That's it. I got to get one for my kids. You know where I can get a good one?
This is where you throw a stuntman, right? It's where you throw a human into the air for
Yeah,
35
something
feet.
like jet
and they
cannon or
claim that he
something.
could land without hurting himself. Do you
Yeah.
believe that for a second? You
I
know,
like
so whenever
that.
they show
At
the
least they
stuntman, he's
showed
in
it.
the air. They never show him landing. Even then, when they showed that guy who did it,
Yeah.
they showed him in the air, and then they cut before he landed. So
Right.
we're supposed to assume that this guy didn't land on his ass and hurt himself
They
badly.
took him to the hospital after he landed.
Of course, there are no Jewish stuntmen. They're smarter than that. Really. Jews didn't do that.
That's right.
Right. And I resent giving this award. I resent this pig. You know, when Jesse Jackson makes
I'm
such
right
a thing.
here, David.
I know, no. This pig. When Jesse Jackson makes such a thing about this sort of black-white issue, how do the Jewish people feel giving a starring role to a pig? I find it so offensive. You know, pigs. And how do Muslims feel about this? Do you
Well, may I give you some hope on pig? They've invented refrigeration.
think? Well, you think it's because we think that they're unclean?
Well, no, but in the old days, if you ate pork before refrigeration, you would get trichinosis.
No, that isn't the reason at all. It's because pork makes you stupid. And it has nothing to do with refrigeration.
Have you eaten some?
Just before I came here. You can say
Tom's
whatever
the
you
one
want.
that's always wrong about the show.
No, Tom's the one that's always different about the show. Not necessarily wrong now, Eugene. There are differing points of view.
Like the show, like the show,
much.
like the show.
Hated the show.
Read.
Oh, this is not a
hated,
hate.
not hated,
Good.
disliked. Thought it was a little long.
What product, Tom, it's going to be long. It's going to be 3.5 hours every single year. So it's what's in the show, not the length of the show.
Well, that's what all you guys say. I can't
Boy, I'll
hang
tell you.
around with you guys. This is a nightmare.
Good, good.
You know, they're so
This
nice
is a-
on the air.
Yes, it is.
This is the Shirley MacLaine role, and we're the Rat Pack. You know?
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, I want to tell you, you haven't deviated at all from your focus of last year. You're right
I
on.
was a very nice girl. Don't, Tom. My ma's watching.
Well,
Said all the guys say it is the length. Is that what this was?
No,
Good.
no. See, now.
I just
the
want
joke's
to remember.
old.
Yeah,
I'm beat behind. I just have. It's the length is what
It's
you
the
say.
pork, honey.
It's the pork.
where's the pork?
I'll tell you one thing, Braveheart, who cares if it won? Let's get to the real. That's the depressing part, isn't it? That Braveheart,
Yes, it is.
you don't, Braveheart isn't the kind of picture that you rally to. And
You're
in
right.
past years,
It wasn't that movie.
it's
I loved it. but-
anticlimactic. It's
You
a
would
fine-
rally to a Schindler's List, right?
Well, I would have gone for a Babe. You would have seen that house explode if Babe had won. They probably would have had James Cromwell, the farmer, come up on stage and dance the jig like he danced in the movies. It would have been a big emotional thing. Braveheart, it was a nice, safe choice.
Safe.
No, but Braveheart was a remarkable movie for Mel Gibson to direct. I mean that.
No question about it.
Remarkable.
To move that kind of men and material,
Yes,
as they
it's
say in the
incredible.
Army, was a terrific achievement, and it was a good achievement in directing. But I'm telling you, this isn't the picture that people are going to be renting, year after year after year.
It certainly won't be the Christmas show of the month on any of the
No,
major
it won't.
networks. Okay, here's Joanna on the toll-free in Chicago. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Tom. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, what did you think of tonight's show, Joanna?
I thought it was pretty good, actually. I have a.
It's a conspiracy. That's all right.
Well, I always watch the Oscars. It's always good.
We all do. It's one of our annual rites of passage.
Definitely. My question is for Gene, and actually, I think you just answered my question. I wanted to know, since you didn't predict Braveheart as Best Picture, even though you just said you didn't care much, did you think that, it was worthy of, you said that it wasn't worthy of an Oscar, but it obviously was, did you think it was a tiebreaker because you wanted Apollo 13?
Yeah, I think if they release the ballots, which I would love to see them do, then I think you'd find out it was a very close vote.
That's a
Right.
good idea.
Wouldn't that?
But they
Okay.
would never risk embarrassing the one that gets the lowest total in history, 6.
I know, but that's a good idea.
Right.
Oh, we would love that. I mean, trivia things, the most ballots, the biggest domination, all that stuff.
Wouldn't
all
that be great if they
Yeah.
let those out,
Oh.
though? Someday they will. Someday somebody will go in there and say, hey, let's release the ballots. A year, 100 years from now.
Oh, that would be good.
And we should know who votes for
Like
what.
the Kennedy papers.
Well, for example, is the voting really based upon the quality of the work?
Please.
Uh-oh.
No way.
Uh-oh.
Never. Or not never, but rarely.
How do you know this?
Well, I've interviewed people. I mean, Henry Fonda, for example, told me that he had his wife Shirley fill out his ballot. Because I asked him, he voted for Jane for
Clue?
Julia. It was
Julia?
Julia, 1977, I think. And he said, Shirley fills it out. And he says, and Jim Garner's wife fills out his.
Really?
Yeah, they made the front page of Variety.
So that's two.
Wow.
That's two.
But-
Clint Eastwood was always solicited as he walked through the Warner lot. He told me, saying, Clint, what are you voting for?
Up to 3.
Okay. But this is just people that I talk to.
Yeah, but isn't
Multiply it.
their wife probably knows what they...
They haven't seen the pictures.
Oh, well, that's not...
You are a member, no doubt, of the Directors Guild of America.
Yes, I am.
Would you reveal who you voted for?
Sure.
Who did you vote for this year?
I didn't vote. But ask me anything else.
Why not?
Is Joanna still on the line?
Sure she is.
Oh, wow.
For the duration.
What, Joanna? Is she the young one?
Yeah, she is.
Well, Joanna, I like Braveheart a lot more than Gene did, I think. I thought it was a terrific one. I like Babe, too. I thought it was wonderful. I saw it with my kids. I loved it. They loved it. But I also took my kids to see Braveheart. And I have an 11-year-old who I took to see Braveheart because I thought
Do
it
we
was
lose
just...
connection here?
No, your connection's fine.
Okay.
Joanna, what was your best picture of the year? Of all the pictures you saw, which one did you like the best?
Nominated or not nominated?
It doesn't make any difference.
Well, actually, nominated, I would say Apollo 13.
Okay.
Unnominated, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Did you see Dead Man Walking or Leaving Las Vegas?
No, I didn't. I haven't gone to see those yet. I actually was on my way in a couple days to see Mighty Aphrodite if I could find it playing anywhere. But that was my next choice to see.
Yeah, it's so much better to see the films in the theater if you
Yeah.
can. I just think it changes when you're at home.
Anyway, Joanna, I'm flattered you called, and thanks for watching our program.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, we will continue here with Gene Siskel, with Bonnie Hunt, with David Steinberg. Is Mark McEwen in Los Angeles tonight? Will we see him at all?
We
I see. I'm looking up at the old monitor in the sky, and I don't see any picture up there. I would hate to disappoint this crowd. You know, we went down there last year, and we don't want to miss this year. Okay, well, get busy on that remote camera, Kennedy. Okay, we'll be right back with David Steinberg, and we want to take a look at the videotape now of the clothes that we're seeing tonight, and we'd like Bonnie Hunt to be our fashion commentator.
Okay.
How they looked as compared to last year. What did you think about the trend this year in women's clothing?
I thought everybody looked very glamorous. I love it because I think about when I was a kid and watching the
Sure.
Academy Awards at home and seeing all the women. I thought Sharon Stone,
Yep.
she just
Great.
does that. Oh, she
Great.
just looked great. And Mira Sorvino, she looked beautiful.
Emma Thompson looked particularly
she
good.
looked
That's
great.
Armani that she wore.
I figured as much. Uh-oh, well, there's Whoopi.
I don't
Whoopi.
like this outfit. Do you? There. She picked it.
Is that right?
She told me all
Flew
this.
over to Milan.
Yep.
And there's Gwyneth Paltrow. Somebody please give me a cookie, a sandwich, something. I'm starving.
You think they're all star?
Well, they are. Oh,
No,
hello.
she's not
No,
starving.
she's not starving.
Jeez, I'll tell you.
Who is that?
Where's that?
We don't know.
I don't think it matters. Her name doesn't matter to you, gentlemen. Does? Oh, there. Now somebody went crazy with a magic marker. Look at, she's a little sweetheart. But
The
please,
dress
again,
is the same color of her, as her skin, and so it doesn't stand out. At
Yeah,
all.
exactly, exactly.
Well.
But a nice haircut.
wish I could not stand out that much.
How about the speeches tonight, the acceptance speeches? Anything?
Well, you know what I miss? I miss when they let people drone on. You know, I really do. I love the show tonight, but if I have one fault, if I would fault it in any way, is that it started off as if we can't stop for anything. And I like when they, you know, so what? So it goes long, and someone's a little embarrassing, and someone's a little bit too emotional. What I don't like is it's getting a little too organized and too controlled.
Completely agree with that. If I were running the show, I would tell them for the last four people, the four big, for the four actors, and they know who's going to win. It was
That's right. They do.
clearly going to be Susan Sarandon, clearly Nicolas Cage. It was going to be either Joan Allen or Mira Sorvino. So you say to the people, look, we're giving you as much time as you feel necessary. Do your best. This is your night. Go for it. You knew Mel Gibson was going to win for director. Take as much time as you want and see what they come up
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
If they embarrass themselves, you know, when they do the Oscar highlights, they have a videotape.
Oh, those are always the best moments.
What's on the tape?
The acceptance speeches.
And the weird stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Not the perfect little, but the
No.
Sally Field.
What are we all going to go home and watch tonight? Because I taped the awards because I got to see it off and on here with pre-production and everything. But I'm going to go home and look for all the little bits and pieces that you mentioned here. How about the night what did they call them when they ran naked? The streaker. When David Niven
Oh,
was
they
hosting.
run naked Easter at my house.
Your mom must have had her hands full with you. I'll tell you something.
The funniest woman
the shy
on the
one.
planet Earth. He's the funniest man.
Yeah.
This is the funniest
No
woman.
question about it.
question
No
about
question
that.
about it.
No, I remember the streaker.
You remember that, and you remember the night that...
Saoirse Littlefeather for Marlon Brando.
Saoirse
Right.
Littlefeather. George C. Scott didn't show up to get the award for Patton. That's the stuff
Right.
we all talk about, not, as you say, this...
So
Yeah, the
David
real
is quite
human
right.
moments, you're
Let it
right.
play a little. But I love this show. And Jeff Margolis was the director tonight, and he averted a disaster when he let the first woman in the short subject, the Holocaust short subject, the Holocaust survivor, the band started to play.
That's
and,
right.
Oh, it
I
would
agree
have
with
been
you.
a tragedy.
Yeah.
And Jeff Margolis did not cut away.
He came back to her.
He came back to her and let her speak, and she delivered a beautiful speech,
Oh, it
talking
was
about
unbelievable.
coming home tonight and realizing
Right.
that you're a winner if you're free in this world.
And that's why I brought up the one who was said you don't have to talk, because I thought, geez, what if she's got a great speech to make
Yes.
as well and we don't get to hear
That's
it?
how because it was right after
Yes,
that.
and she would have in Dutch.
Well, some of our audience would have
And you
understood.
know what? I would have, just to be true to what David's saying, if she would have talked and had it translated, would have been beautiful too.
I agree. Just let it go.
Let them go.
Yeah.
The big guys, let them go.
Yeah, everything has gotten
And
so
if all of them knew that we are allowed to go up there and do shtick or thank our moms or cry or tell a joke, he came up there and he did 5 minutes of shtick from the Borscht Bell. It was wonderful television.
Don't let the documentary filmmakers do it. Let the actors do
Let
it.
the
There you
actors
know how to
do
do
it.
it. Tom Hanks delivers great speeches.
Remember last year? Huh?
And the year before.
Yep, exactly.
But everything is too controlled. You know, if you watch the Today Show or the morning shows, if they have a great guest with a good piece of information, they stop him and go to the next subject.
I know
as
they
if,
do.
Because
why
it's too
not?
bland. People are afraid.
It's just an
You know
hour
why?
show.
Because
Let
less
it go
and less
on.
people with personalities are getting hired because it makes networks feel like they can't have control
Well, I
over
know,
them.
but I'm talking about a
That's,
good piece of
creatively what
information.
happened.
David is out right again. I'm on one of those morning shows, CBS This Morning, and I know
Is
that a lot of
right,
people.
Gina?
You're funny. He's right. And
I'd
they
rather
don't.
be funny.
The anchors tell me, Harry Smith, Paul is on. They say, well, they hate that they always have to say, We only have 30 seconds.
I know.
They seem to say that in every interview.
Well,
I know.
don't
They
do
have
that. Don't do that. Go another segment if someone's interesting.
Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is, and I don't mean to be critical of producers here.
Sponsors?
No,
Oh.
producers have the feeling that the audience will not pay attention to a single topic for longer than 4.5 to 5 minutes, so they want to keep it moving. If you notice when you watch anything, they always tell you, never mind what's on now, here's what's coming next,
Right.
next,
Right.
next.
Oh, you're right. I said that tonight when we were watching backstage. Every time credits roll now, you can't even have a 2-minute credit segment without them selling
Yeah.
the next thing that's coming up. They're so panicked.
Have you ever been to the Oscar show?
No.
I have.
I hope to bring my mom sometime. You have?
I mean, you're a movie
Would you
star.
mind bringing my mother sometime?
There's the building there. It just goes to a tape machine and it's blown away the next morning. What do you want to get into here? I got 2 or 3 minutes.
Kirk Douglas.
All right, fine. Kirk Douglas.
Your reaction when you saw him on stage.
First of all, bravo, for the movie making. Secondly, a little bit sad that he had the stroke and that he couldn't talk as well as he might have liked to. But by God, how great to see him get out there and make the effort. And to see his sons there applauding him.
That was
was
dramatic.
that wonderful.
There was a lot of crying on this show.
You
Mrs.
bet.
Douglas and Douglas. I had a
Maybe
reaction.
everybody in the movie business cries.
Well, you know what?
All the time.
At least there was some emotion.
Yes.
On the
There
show.
was
It
a
wasn't
lot
pro
tonight.
forma.
And it was so naturally there. It
Yes.
wasn't like people trying to be dramatic about it. But it was there throughout the show. It just seemed, it was really sweet.
Whoopi Goldberg and I believe Whoopi Goldberg mentioning Jesse Jackson and somebody
Yes.
else mentioned Jesse Jackson.
Well, she
tonight.
took him on.
Yes,
Good
she
for
did.
her.
And I thought that was very bold because, there can be a feeling of not wanting to step out. And she said she wasn't going to wear the ribbon.
Right.
A lot of pressure on you.
Is there really?
To wear that ribbon?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, sure. To fall in line? Of course.
Nobody had that.
Remember,
I don't
Whoopi
think I saw
Goldberg
one.
has...
Did you see any ribbons?
There was a ribbon. Quincy Jones had a ribbon on, didn't he?
Yeah,
Right,
but
well,
it was a Rainbow Coalition ribbon.
That's right. Well, that's the ribbon that Jesse Jackson would have liked her to have worn.
I understand.
Oprah Winfrey did not wear a ribbon opening the show. And there is a lot of pressure. And let me tell you, these people have commercial careers, as you know, and let's get right down to it. Black moviegoers are a big part of the movie-going population.
question about it.
Up to 20% or something like that. Tremendous figure. If she alienates them, she could lose her $8 to $12 million salary that she gets. So, whether you agree with her or don't agree with her, I think she was saying the timing isn't right tonight.
Right. I think people are smart enough to make their own decisions. If they want to go to a movie, they're going
And
to go to a movie.
it's
They're not going to blame the Academy for this.
It's not like the African-American community was ignored in tonight's Oscar celebration.
That, of course, wasn't the point of Jesse Jackson's
Of course
protest.
it wasn't, but Denzel Washington didn't make a film in 1995.
Yes, he did.
Oh, did? He did.
Yeah. Other than that,
Other than
Other than that.
slight detail, Gene.
yeah.
Who made the Ross Perot joke? That said he was out front protesting that Wacky Millionaires had not been nominated.
Devil in a Blue Dress is the name of the film, and Don Cheadle, a lot of people
I
thought might
guess
have
what I
gotten a
said wasn't
nomination.
interesting.
Well, Don Cheadle was fabulous in that movie.
Yes, he was.
But
When Roger was here,
Yeah?
he talked about the time he made the thing about
Everybody makes mistakes. He apologized. That was very sweet on your show to do that. No problem.
what was it? I don't know.
Oh, it's a dumb thing. He
Do you have
tried to
bigger
tell a
glasses
joke.
of water?
Let's talk about Bonnie. Roger made a
Why? I'm
mistake in a
still
speech,
here.
in an accepted speech, and it was embarrassing, and he apologized on
Yes, he
your show.
did.
And that was very nice, because you were made uncomfortable by it sitting in the audience.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and so you held his feet to the fire, and he pleaded guilty, and that's...
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's just a little
If you're
something.
if you're a loyal viewer of this great television show, you know exactly what we're talking about. Because I don't miss it a single night.
Tell what he said to you when you saw him in Chicago talking about the appearance here last year.
Oh, did I tell you that?
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you first of all. I got a call from David Steinberg on my answering machine.
He's so much funnier, really.
We were okay to
Back after these messages.
But do you still like the show?
Camaraderie. There you go.